Hello, I'm Mike,
I like turtles.
and welcome back to Saturdays at Derek's. Wait, you like what?
Turtles.
Toidles.
Turtles.
Toidle. Like turtles, but New Yorkie? What?
Yeah. It helps if I have a zombie face on.
Okay. Anyway, so this week has been unfortunate as far as deaths in the entertainment industry.
Yeah, at least two great ones. Christopher Lee.
Right, who was a great actor. I dug Christopher Lee when I was a little kid. He was in like all the Hammer horror movies, and that shit was just great. But
A fantastic villain. He pulled off scary well.
yeah, no, they could give that guy a role, and he would pull something out of it that the writers didn't expect. He was just really amazing.
I knew him mostly from when I was a kid. I know him mostly from Dracula. Specifically, like there was like late 1960s, early 1970s.
Yeah, those are probably the Hammer movies.
Yeah, and I really remember Peter Cushing just hammering a stake through his heart.
Right.
But yeah, and then as we got older, the Man with the Golden Gun, and then into the more modern era,
like Count Dooku,
and
Saruman.
Saruman, yeah. And we were really excited. We started to get excited seeing Christopher Lee in roles. It was always, he'd pop up all of a sudden, and he got really famous again in his later life playing these roles, and Willy Wonka's dad even, and all these even little parts that he did, and you always get excited going, Christopher Lee.
Yeah. And not just an actor. I mean, the guy he was a Nazi hunter.
Yeah.
He spoke like 5 languages. Yeah. He's not just that he was a great actor. He's almost like somebody wrote him.
Yeah, I was watching some things on his death recently, and somebody was talking about a great story about him telling Peter Jackson that isn't what it sounds like when you stab somebody through the back. I know because I've been there.
I read that too. That was good.
I was like, ooh. So yeah, Christopher Lee was just an amazing guy.
Yeah.
But he lived a long life, and gave us a lot of years of great entertainment and service.
Yeah. You wonder what the other side is.
Yeah.
Beat his kids or something. What the fuck?
Yeah. No.
How could you be that awesome?
Yeah. Maybe that's why he played such a great villain, is because he didn't have that villainous side, and that's how he brought it out, was on screen.
But maybe I think part of it is the kind of heavy shit that he saw earlier in his life. Yeah. With the spy work and all that.
Well, and his general look, I mean, he had that kind of long,
gaunt, menacing kind of visage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was sad. It shouldn't have been surprising because he was 93 years old, but it was a sad and surprising to find out. And I guess he'd actually passed away like 3 days before anybody had ever even heard of it. So,
his family didn't want to.
They just didn't. They didn't go to the press about it, I guess. So
just took care of it and didn't go, oh, we got to tell the world.
Yeah.
No, that actually makes sense. But anyway, so and in the world of professional wrestling this week, we lost the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes.
We thought the American Dream had been dead for years, but
yeah, no, he was still chugging along.
Yeah.
But I love that guy. He was amazing. Just an absolute legend in the industry. He was a 3-time NWA World Champion. He held, television titles, intercontinental titles. in just about every territory back in the old territory system. He worked through the World Wrestling Federation, and absolutely fearless in so much that he would rock yellow polka dots in public.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know that guy
was a good idea.
You know, Dream had balls because he would do shit like that. But no, an amazing talker. Just whatever subject he was on, he just knew how to grab a hold of an audience, drag them in, and just take them on an emotional ride with him. And you know, he was amazing. A genius booker. In wrestling, the booker is the guy that decides how the matches are going to play out and what the long-term plan is. And you know, he's just legendary for being able to put together great shows and really good programs.
Yeah, when you talk about personality in World Wrestling Federation, he's one of the guys who definitely stands out.
He's one of the big ones. He's up there with Randy Savage, Hulk Hogan,
The Rock.
The Rock, Stone Cold. You know, it's when you talk about guys that are just mesmerizing in that business, he's definitely, you know, in the upper end of that pantheon. I mean, you know, same breath with guys like Jake Roberts.
And he was a talented wrestler on top of it. I mean,
yeah, for a guy who, by all appearances, was incredibly fucking out of shape.
Yeah,
he could work excellent matches. If anybody really wanted to see, you know, what Dream was about, I would say go back and watch his matches with Ric Flair.
Yeah,
that shit was just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, those two, I mean, both those guys, just huge personalities and very talented when it came to the technical.
You know,
side
and
of things.
well, and professional wrestling as a sport tends to be kind of looked down on by some folks, but Dusty Rhodes is definitely one of those household names that came out of that business. You may not be able to stand professional wrestling, but you know who the Dream was.
The air's ready to take him on right now. He's like, where is he?
He's easy. He probably wants to eat his eyeballs and digest them.
So yeah, I mean, it's kind of a bummer of a week as far as that goes.
Yeah. Hi, this is Mike. This is the part in the video where I had put together just a short little package of some things that Dusty Rhodes had done in his career, just as kind of a tribute to say goodbye and, you know, let the people who never really watched wrestling understand kind of what the guy was. Unfortunately, it seems that WWE's legal department has a problem with it. Now, legally, they're right. I did use footage that they probably own. At least some of it, if not all of it, because WWE has spent years buying up the video libraries of every other wrestling promotion in the United States. You know, ECW, the NWA, a shitload of the old independent territories. So legally they're right, and I used footage that I shouldn't have. On the other hand, I really don't see us as being a big threat or a big problem. We've been doing this show for 7 months now, and last week, right before we posted originally the memorial video, etc., Derek was all excited because we finally made $2. In 7 months, we have made $2 doing this show every week. As though we're professionals, and it fucking means something. So it's kind of fucked up. In order to pay WWE for the money that they would have lost for us getting the advertising money from it, I would literally have to take this penny and chop it up into tiny little pieces and mail like a 64th of it to Vince McMahon, which would have cost more in postage. And, of course, it's a federal crime. We can't deface the United States currency. The only other thing I really have to say about this is it strikes me as ironic that Dusty Rhodes was a man who spent most of his career fighting for the little guy and fighting for the rights of blue-collar workers in the face of oppressive billionaire corporate ownership. And ironically, I can't pay tribute to that because of billionaire corporate ownership. Hooray for America. But anyway, on to the rest of the video, and our apologies for it having gone down so quickly, and then we had no episode for last week. Thank you. Good night.
Well, you know, and another death of something, Uwe Boll's career.
Which is a death that has been long overdue.
Or as far as he's concerned, the death of Kickstarter.
Yeah. For anybody that doesn't know, Uwe Boll is a German director and possibly the...
Forgot the quote.
Yeah, I did. It was my mistake, but I was rolling into it because he is possibly the worst director on planet Earth.
Oh, just makes terrible movies.
Yeah, for a long time, all he would do is go out, get a video game property like Blood Rain, and make just the most horrible fucking film that he could possibly lay out, and then get mad when people didn't like it. This jackass actually organized a boxing match between himself and his critics because somehow he takes that shit personally. They're critics, dude. If they don't like your shit, fuck them. It doesn't matter. But to be perfectly honest, they were right.
The thing is, though, is he wasn't even, like, sarcastically bad. He wasn't like Roger Corman, who's, like, kind of bad on purpose.
Yeah,
He was just bad.
How do you explain it? So anyway, he wants to...
I'm surprised Jolene doesn't like his movies.
Right. So anyway, but he was trying to put together financing to make another shitty movie, and he failed in crowdfunding campaigns twice, and then this third time around he went to Kickstarter to try to do it and failed again, surprisingly enough, and got so angry that nobody would back his movie, he went and put a video on YouTube just calling everybody fuckers and telling them how stupid they are. And there was actually two videos. There was the one that was just, you fuckers, how stupid you are. And then a longer one where he goes on to rag about the Hollywood system and rag on Marvel movies. Well, and part of his rant is that he's going, it's not real, it's all bullshit. None of the things that you're making in your Marvel movies are real. And you gotta stop and go, asshole, you made video game movies for a long fucking time. That shit's not real either. Jackass.
Yeah, it gave me a good chuckle.
It is. It's hilarious, and I'm wondering who he wants to punch now.
Please?
Yeah, all right.
I'm sure he's got some kind of money. I'll take a shot.
Oh yeah, no. It'll be.
I'll take a shot in the face for a couple bucks.
But it'll. But much like the last time, it'll be an organized event, and I'm sure you'll have to sign off papers that you won't sue him.
No.
Because he may be psychotic, but his lawyers aren't.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, this week, Elder Scrolls Online dropped for consoles.
Yeah.
And we picked it up on the PlayStation 4.
It was actually, even though we had some problems, it was a fairly smooth launch for an MMO.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, day of launch, I couldn't log in at all.
Well,
and actually,
American servers.
Yeah, well, I ended up coming over here to try your better internet connection to try and get on, and we ended up playing on the European server.
Yeah.
Because for some reason that worked, but the American server didn't.
Yeah, I think it's just there was too many people logging in and.
Right. No, I think you're right that it's launch, everybody's getting on, and everybody's in the low level areas because everybody's starting out, and I think it just got choked up.
Yeah, I guess you were able to transfer over PC characters if you wanted to.
Yeah, I saw a thing for that in the opening
But I
menu.
guess not very many people were doing it because the people who were doing it were really lonely. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, all in all, though,
You ever heard of Sandbox Echo?
Yeah.
Hello? Oh. Nobody? Not even NPCs? He's.
But I guess it wasn't too bad.
No, and I think
there were some queuing issues as well.
Well, yeah, and I think they fixed that on was it Wednesday night?
Yeah.
Because Tuesday didn't work out that well. I mean, we got into the European servers, but and then started our real characters on Wednesday, and that turned into a pain in the ass because I got glitched and kicked, and then it wouldn't let me back in.
Yeah.
It just kept saying that you'll queue in 1 second. Just hang on, and my the server actually timed out on me like 3 times.
Yeah.
Before I finally just gave up on it.
And then the next day it was taking like 5-10 minutes instead of
right. But I think they fixed it on Wednesday night because I tried to log in at like 8 or 8:30 to see if I could, and it said that they were down for server maintenance. Mm-hmm. So I think they figured out that there was a queuing issue and that they actually fixed it on Wednesday. So it took a while to get on Thursday, but at least we were able to get on Thursday and solidly stay in the game. And once you get to play the game, it's really fun.
Yeah, I mean we've been having a really good time with it.
They managed to...
We've been having such a good time that we've been forgetting to press the share button on
the videos.
Yeah, the videos.
Yeah, because there's an intention to do videos, but we keep getting so engrossed in the game that we forget to save the clips. But they managed to retain the sense of exploration from the regular Elder Scrolls games, mm-hmm. which to me was always the best part. You're wandering through the countryside on your way to something, and you're like, "Hey,
there's an arrow.
That's a cave door. Let's see what's in there."
Yeah,
that's one of the best things and one of the worst things about Elder Scrolls games is it takes forever to finish a quest because you keep getting distracted by side shit on the mm-hmm. way there. So what should be a 10-minute trip from here to here ends up being like a 3-hour affair because you're hitting like 4 dungeons on the way to your actual goal.
Yeah.
If you don't forget about your actual goal and end up wandering way the fuck halfway off across the continent.
Thank God for quest books. Because I would never complete anything if it wasn't for quest books. I might stumble across...
It turns into a whole lot of squirrel.
I might stumble across a completion and be like, hey, there's somebody to talk to over here. Why do I
Quest completed. Funk. Really? Oh, God, I completely forgotten about that.
Yeah, that's right. This is what I started doing 4 days ago.
Yeah. But yes, just a ton of fun. It's kind of... like the sandbox, the exploration is kind of like Guild Wars 2, where mm-hmm. you can walk in and help other people fight something without actually having a group. And then you can still get credit for it and just mm-hmm. leave, which I really like being able to do that because I'm an antisocial fuck and I don't get into a lot of groups.
Yeah.
And Elder Scrolls Online is very supportive of playing a solo game. Yeah, there's most of the stuff you don't have to be in groups for. There are group dungeons.
The questing stuff for sure. It doesn't. You don't share accomplishments as much as you do. Like I can't be across the map and you can accomplish something. I mean, there's a couple things that you can do that with, but
yeah. Well, I think you can get like sub steps if you're in a group and you have the same mission, like the really fiddly small sub steps to the parts you can share.
Yeah.
But you still actually have to like turn your stuff in.
Yeah, like we've actually bugged one out. We bugged out a quest once.
Yeah.
And I ended up having to drop it and redo it because
the one with the pirates.
We had tried to sync up to do it, and then he had shared his, and it had interfered with mine, and then my guy that I needed to talk to wouldn't spawn.
Yeah.
So there was a couple of buggy things like that. I like the advancement scheme. I almost wish they would have gotten rid of levels completely though, and just had the skill advancement.
Skill levels.
Yeah.
I could see that.
But you get skill points, and you can either advance one skill across a tree, or you can choose different skills that you can advance.
Yeah, and unlike regular Elder Scrolls games, you you have to be very focused about what you spend skill points on.
Yeah, I haven't found out if there's a way to reset your skill points yet, so that if you want to kind of go through and
I think there is.
I'm pretty sure there is.
I've read something about it. I haven't tried it, so I'm not sure how to go.
But yeah, that's pretty cool too. I mean, you can get a very unique. I think it will kind of take away from the min-maxing a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're still going to have that, but you're going to have more choices as a min-maxer.
Yeah.
To have a little bit of a difference.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, I mean, I almost kind of wish that they would have gotten rid of the class/level system and just gone with a pure skill-based system.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't think has maybe New World has done that.
Yeah, and it's probably because it would be more difficult to set difficulty levels of enemies in different areas.
Yeah.
Set the difficulty levels of enemies in different areas. You know, like this area is your 5 to 12 level monsters. So if you're not 5 to 12 level, you should stay the fuck away from there. You know, if you're second level, you should stay in this area because these are, you know, the 0 through 5 level enemies.
Yeah.
And I think that's more of what that's about, so you can kind of gauge where you should be. Because I like the idea of like just skill levels.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's very cool, and you can like very organically build a character doing that. But I think it would be hard to set the difficulty level of other things in the game.
Yeah, you'd almost have to instance. We'll talk about this a little bit more because we're out of time.
Right. We do need to go, damn it.
But yeah, thanks everybody again for joining us this week. Hopefully next week we got better news than
a lot of death and a shitty director.
Yeah.
But the game was fucking awesome, so, you know.
Yeah, and we really appreciate the guys who passed away, all the years of enjoyment that they gave us.
Absolutely. So anyway, till next week, we're out. Doodles. Saturday.